Disclaimer, this series revolves around criticising things, and the fact that I'm doing that doesn't necessarily mean I dislike the thing. Thank you. Click below to watch the original Sins video, or to buy Gravity Falls.
A very clear discount Sherlock Holmes, which conveniently is going to show up in this episode.
I don't really understand which part of this is supposed to be a sin. The clearly intentional parody or the good foreshadowing.
All of those wax figurines are historical figures, except from Robin f***ing Hood.
You literally just mentioned how one of the wax figures is Sherlock Holmes.
I got them all! Genghis Khan, Sherlock Holmes, some kinda, I don't know, goblin man.
Calling Larry King a goblin man when Larry King is voicing his wax self.
I really don't want to use That's the Joke clip again because I feel like I've been overusing it recently, but I have a feeling you're gonna make it hard for me in this one.
Wax Abraham Lincoln, right over. Oh no, come on! Who left the blinds open? Wax John Wilkes Booth, I'm looking in your direction.
These figures are alive. Why didn't Wax Abraham Lincoln just move to a different spot?
For pun-related reasons, the figures are only alive while the moon is waxing. This means that for periods of about 2 weeks he's not alive, and that's definitely long enough to melt.
Maybe you should carve something from real life.
Like a waffle with big arms.
If you think a waffle with big arms are from real life, then you have problem.
If you think you're gonna make me resort to using the That's the Joke clip again, then you have problem.
Wax making montage.
But a wax sculpting montage is the fastest way to sculpt wax, I guess.
Corn dog signs.
Must not use That's the Joke clip. Also, if anything, that should be a sin off. Like, come on. How can you not love Seuss and literally everything that man does?
It's covered in my blood, sweat, tears, and other fluids.
Actually, it's covered in glitter, but you describe it in a weird way.
I never thought that this would be something I'd have to point out within my lifetime, but something can be covered in both glitter and bodily fluids.
Are the wax figures alive, and can I survive the Waxman uprising?
Foreshadowing from McGucket?
Right, CinemaSins and every other channel that uses the CinemaSins format alike, listen to me now because I'm only going to say this once. Foreshadowing is a good thing. When done well. Also, why would the fact that the foreshadowing is from McGucket make it any more surprising? McGucket's character basically only exists as foreshadowing.
Toby determined? Is this guy just determined to do things?
That is the pun I believe they were trying to make, yes.
Also, that label says hat, in case you didn't know that's a hat. That lady kicked an old woman that was still sitting on that chair.
That's the joke. Twice for those last 2 sins.
Wolf howling and wind thing turning indicates something bad is going down.
Wind thing? Wind thing? Do you seriously not know what those things are called? Anyone who doesn't know the name of that object should feel shame.
Huh. Dipper managed to take a photograph of Blendin before he went back forward in time.
I legitimately don't understand why every time Blendin appears in any capacity you add a sin for it. It's like, no, this is good foreshadowing, what are you doing?
I would like to point out that Wax Stan's foot has a hole, which is something they don't see at first.
Well, of course it has a hole because of continuity reasons, and it's pretty reasonable they don't see it at first. It's not like they're gonna go, someone's decapitated the wax model, better check its feet in case it did it to itself. And I know the fact that Stan's foot has a hole in it is what later lets them infer that it was the other waxworks that did it. But it's not like they're gonna think to look at his feet for specifically that reason.
In my opinion, this is an axe.
Well, no
Sinning Seuss is always a sin. Wow, that was a lot of S's. I'm glad I don't have a lisp. Thinning tooth is always a thin. Yeah, if I had a lisp, I'd probably find another way to phrase that.
We have an axe!
Funny reminder of Psycho, but Mabel would have damaged Dipper's head with that axe.
It's been said that one of the deadliest things you can do with an axe is move it next to someone's head without touching them.
You were at work.
No, I was punching that clock!
10 o'clock, the time of the murder.
Or it could be the time right now. Because it's damaged doesn't mean it's broken.
Yeah, so long as it isn't the time right now, then this is fine. You can tell that it's broken if it's literally any other time, which I'm gonna guess it probably is. Mostly because if it was the time right now, Dipper would probably have gone, that's the time right now, instead of, the time of the murder.
There are weird names on this notepad like that fat guy and angry lady.
Yes, Gravity Falls does have jokes in it. I'm glad you noticed.
Making out with a cardboard cutout.
What?
It's where the pole thingy attaches to their stand dealies.
Pole thingy attached to their standingies.
Wind thing.
Wax Sherlock Holmes! Wax Shakespeare! Wax Coolio?
Thank you for calling out the ones I know of. Now tell me who are the rest. Like these four.
Why do you think you need to know this?
Richard Nixon's burrs are a rip-off from Futurama.
Just because Futurama did something doesn't mean it invented doing that thing. What are you going to tell me next? That this is a rip-off of this?
I told you to stop that.
Make me.
Secret recordings when Coolio was with Larry King when they record this episode as special guests.
What?
We can melt them with hottie melty things.
Hottie melting things.
Wind thing.
Fiddlesticks! Humbugs! It's a total kerfuffle!
All these British words, and I kind of feel offended because none of those words are from Sherlock.
Wait, what? Are you saying that Sherlock needs to invent his own words? Or are you saying that those words just aren't a part of the Sherlock canon? Either way.
Solve the case yet, boy? I'm so confident you're gonna say no that I'm gonna take a long, slow sip from my cup of coffee.
Cliche writes itself.
Fuck it.
I don't get it. Why was the frog riding the unicycle?
Well, Tom.
So, the sin total is 26, and the punishment will be decapitation. I would just quickly like to say a big thank you to SeriesSins for being a good sport and actively requesting these videos. I'll put a link to his channel up on screen. Alternatively, if you want to see more of my videos on Gravity Falls, I'll put up a link to a SeriesSins Gravity Falls playlist. I'll see you on Sunday, possibly for a Q&A, I'm not quite sure yet. Until then, a goodbye.